these are the very questions that are going to anchor you in what you actually want to do. Hi, welcome back or welcome to, my name is Sherry and welcome to With Sherry McMillan. Today we're going to be talking about giving up meat. Alright, so I just want to jump right in. Thinking about like, how long have you considered going meatless? And for me, I lost my grandmother, which was kind of the catalyst. I like to say that maybe it was part of my grieving process, but then also it had a little bit to do with me wanting to live like a healthier lifestyle and to know, like I tell people too, like I could get hit by a car, or I could be in some other tragic accident and die, right? And that has nothing to do with the way that I'm eating or the way that I'm living my life. But for me, eating the way that I eat now, I'm able to have a little more energy. I feel like I'm less susceptible to certain conditions that could limit my way of living. You know, that could limit the way that I move, limit the way that I want to feel my life. And so that's what it was more so about for me. And my grandmother's passing is what kind of brought that like in my face. Like I became much more aware of like wanting to live more intentionally. I started to consider it. I started looking up things. I'm like, you know, what is this going to look like? Because I'm making this change for myself, but at the time I was married. I was also raising my nephew, and I'm like, that means that I'm gonna have to fix my food, and I'm also gonna have to fix their food. And we were going out a lot with our friends, like for dinners and stuff. We were doing like cookouts, you know, gatherings, things like that. You know, what is that gonna mean for me? Like, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be doing that, you know. I was considering it for a while before I actually made the decision, and I'll talk about it in part 2. You know, it went from like here to like, yeah, we're going like 0 to 100, let's go. Have you ever tried it before? And I have. Before that, I had tried, I don't know if you all are familiar with like the Daniel fast. I can't remember it all, but basically you were definitely eating a lot healthier. I don't think you were eating meat. You definitely weren't drinking alcoholic beverages. You weren't drinking any sugary. Stayed away from like junk food and all of it, like so many different things. And it was about being healthier and fasting for what you're praying for and things of that nature. Every time, I think I had tried the Daniel fast maybe 2 or 3 times, and I could never make it past the 3rd or 4th day. I think maybe I might have made it 5 days during the week. When the weekend came, it was over with. Thinking about how many times have you tried it before and really exploring that for yourself, like why didn't it work for you? And I think at the time, maybe I wasn't as invested in the reason why I needed to be giving up meat. So during the Daniel fast, I know and I understand like, oh, you know, we're praying for the things that we want. We're in alignment with our desires. We're trying to clean our bodies out. So, you know, we have this clean vessel. But for me, for whatever reason, like I couldn't connect those reasons and that motivation to be disciplined enough to actually carry that on for, I think it's 21 days. I think it's about 21. It's a 21-day fast. You know, really being honest with yourself about that. How do you expect to feel? How do you expect to look? How do you expect to act? I think that's very important as well. In the very beginning, I really didn't have any health issues, and I still don't now, thankfully. I deal with seasonal allergies, and then I also deal with acid reflux, but it's more so, I don't even think they call it that anymore. It's like GERD now. But I expected to like heal myself from that, because there were certain things that I read that were like, oh, you know, certain people healed themselves from acid reflux or GERD. And they healed themselves from so many other things as well. I expected to lose weight initially for sure, and I expected to kind of like plateau though. And I'm like, I expect to pretty much be pretty small, you know, and not have an issue with my weight in regards to like gaining. How I expected to act, I expected to like have more energy. I don't know, like in my mind, I was like, I'm about to have like superhuman, superhero like powers or something. Like, I'm gonna be able to like not sleep as much. I'm gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna get all these things done that I need to get done. So I mean, I had that in my mind, and I think it's so important for you to imagine and to think about what you're expecting to get out of giving up meat. Really thinking it through. Kind of going back to the restaurant thing, but how will you handle like having no vegetarian options on a menu? I already talked about that, just being the fact that you can get very creative. Pasta is very easy. If they have some type of pasta, you could just tell them to hold the meat. Salads, even if they have like chicken salads or Cobb salads, you could just tell them you don't want any meat in there. If they have any type of sides, likely all places have sides, even if those sides are literally like mashed potatoes and green beans. That's literally what you can do. Maybe you're just eating mashed potatoes and green beans for that particular dinner setting, if it's like American, you know, type of food. Yeah, thinking those things through. So in this video, we talked about why, the what, and the how, and those are so important when it comes to sticking to your, I don't want to call it a diet, your eating habits, your eating style, especially if you're wanting to stick through it for a certain amount of time, or you actually want it to be your lifestyle. Because again, so many people ask me like, oh my gosh, how have you never like wanted to eat meat or tried to eat meat or like just even licked it? Like, I'm just like, you know, this is my process. I know the answers to all the questions that I've asked you all today. I know my reason why. I know what to do when I need to do it. I know how to do it. These are the very questions that are going to anchor you in what you actually want to do.